welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome. My name is Meg. This is Bachelor Talks, and today we're discussing the Women Tells All of Colton's season. I don't know about you guys, but I'm still exhausted from last night's episode. Yeah, it was a lot. To be honest, I could only really watch the first half because like all the talking, all the yelling, all of like the 50 people talking at once gave me a headache, so I had to wrap up the second half, which thankfully wasn't as bad this morning, and I am just like still blown away at the way that some of these women were acting on TV. I felt like every season you always have people that get sent home early that feel like they didn't get to make their mark, like make their shine or stand out enough because they want to be back on Paradise or they want like future brand opportunities. So they always try to make themselves known at reunions, and like the entire back row woman, like especially Jane, I'm like, who is Jane? Like, she needs to be quiet. She's annoying me so bad. It's like, you weren't here much of the season because I really don't remember you. So like, why are you chiming in on every little thing? It was just too much, just like desperation for attention. I feel like was the majority of the women that were on the show. So for Colton being worried about people just being there for fame or being there for attention, I think he had every right to be worried with how a lot of these women were acting during the reunion. Anyway, enough with that. Let's actually get into the show. I don't know why they won't drop the whole Colton in a shower thing. Again, this whole season should have been called Colton Takes a Shower. Is they really think like playing like montages of him shirtless in a shower is gonna boost their ratings? Like, it was so much overkill with that, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe you guys like that. Let me know in the comments below if you were actually all for every single time Colton was in the shower, because I don't know. Basically, the show starts off with montages of like every single Bachelor and Bachelorette breakup ever, and it just immediately starts into the drama with Courtney attacking Demi. And again, it's just the same old story. I feel bad for Demi. I feel like she did a really good job of handling herself, because I would just honestly, I wouldn't have the patience to deal with these women. I would just be sitting there telling them to shut the F up, because I just don't have time for that in my life. So the fact that Courtney wants to sit there and say that Demi acts like a child, I think the way that Courtney acted during this entire reunion was very childish. So I also have to point out the fact that Chris was whistling again. He had to whistle at Courtney to actually get her to stop talking. So as soon as that happened, I think it was honestly within the first 30 seconds, I was like, it's gonna be that kind of episode tonight. Basically what happened next is that everybody just shit on Catherine. Like, everybody was mad at her still for interrupting Colton. I just can't imagine like being on a show and having to be months and months later and then still being mad at somebody for interrupting and like playing the game. Like, yeah, we get it, she interrupted a lot, it was annoying, it is what it is. But to like still be mad about that, I don't know. I'm just like, I don't get how they have the energy for any of this. Nah. After the drama was off, Catherine, it quickly got shifted to Nicole, who is being dubbed the new Ashley I of the Bachelor franchise. And Onyeka is sitting there attacking her again, and Onyeka says, being outspoken isn't bullying. And then Onyeka very proudly read the definition of a bully, and it's like, yes, that is what you are doing. So I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Onyeka was being a bully? Yes or no? I want to know what side you are on. I thought she was just being very rude and ridiculous, and for me, again, it was just like a very obvious, sad attempt at more camera time. And I have to say the same for Courtney. Like, I just felt like they were just being so, like, they were just coming off as attacking other people, and it just seemed too much and a little bit desperate. So just let me know what is your take on Onyeka and Courtney and like how they handled themselves in the reunion. I'd like to know. And if you're on the other side of things, I would love to hear your point and hear your side of things. Of course, with Onyeka attacking Nicole, Tracy takes that as her moment to shine and also jumped in on just completely degrading Nicole. I felt bad for her. I felt bad that they were letting it go on for so long. Like, I get like it's drama and like they want to draw in views with drama, but it was just like, when is enough with this show? I don't know. Maybe I'm truly starting to outgrow The Bachelor. I don't know, man. Luckily for Nicole, she had one good friend in the house, which was Sydney, and Sydney stood up for her, and Onyeka called her a coward. I think it's more cowardly to sit there and let somebody get bullied and not say anything than to actually stand up for them. That's just my opinion. And I'm sorry I'm looking down so much. There was just so much that happened. I can't keep it straight in my brain, so I just have my notes on my phone. The whole thing with Nicole was just like upsetting for me because so many women were attacking her. And for me, it's like, you can't sit there and tell somebody else what they went through, and you can't tell somebody else what their experience was. And it's just like, you can have 5 people watch the same clip of something, and you can have 5 completely different views of what happened in whatever clip, or 5 different opinions of what happened in the clip. And you just can't tell somebody like what they experienced and that they're wrong for having that experience. I don't know, maybe we're missing something because we weren't there, but I just really didn't get the whole jumping on Nicole and telling her how she felt. Like, the biggest pet peeve for me is when somebody tries to tell me how I feel in a situation. So that's where my heart went out to Nicole, because it's like, you can't tell somebody what they feel, and you can't tell somebody what they experience. You're not them. So that was just my little tangent and my little rant about the whole thing. Now we hop on to the drama of a lot of girls basically insinuating that Cassie and Kaylin were there and talking about winning and being the Bachelorette and what they're gonna do after the show. So we finally got some clearance on that. Katie said that on the bus ride from the airport in Singapore, she overheard Kaylin and Cassie talking about winning the show, and saying the word "I'm gonna win the show" is what really bothered her. And I feel like it would be bothersome because it's like, you're here for love, like you're not here to win. So like, I get that. And talking about, oh, what would it be like if like we're the next Bachelorette and like we're best friends and like we want to make sure that we both make it to the end, and how great is it going to be for us and our careers, and just insinuating all of that. Of course, Kaylin is sitting there denying it, saying you're wrong, that never happened, I didn't say that, you're twisting my words. Katie's whole point of this was saying that she doesn't think that their lifestyle aligns with somebody that's ready to get married, and that was also a red flag for her. And I think that that was also a red flag for the other girls that spoke up and kind of gave Colton that warning. Kaylin goes on to defend herself, and while she was doing this, it's very interesting watching the other girls, because Hannah's just kind of like side-eyeing back to Katie like she is full of shit right now, which I found like so interesting. So I feel like maybe they were fantasizing about winning, like what it would be like to be like the headliner of the show and like the front runners and this and that. But I still want to believe that Kaylin did get caught up in her feelings, and maybe she was saying those things and maybe she did feel those things, and then things got serious with her and Colton. So what is your take on it? Do you still believe what Katie was saying, or do you believe Kaylin and Cassie? What this came down to was Kaylin basically trying to defend herself against 4 other women, and Katie was just very shook at how Kaylin was acting and what she was saying and what her response was. So I don't know enough about Katie to know if she's being genuine or not. I would like to believe her. I would like to think that she wasn't lying about all the stuff that Kaylin said and like what their phone conversations were about. So just let me know, where do you stand on this whole thing? I would love to know your opinion and thoughts. We bounced back to Demi again, and now her drama with Tracy. And Tracy seemed a little slightly more mature. She came off a little bit more mature this time around, and basically just explained that like she doesn't really have an issue with Demi. She just basically hated that Demi was a happy, fun, go-lucky kind of person, and that was her personality. So basically like their personalities clash, and that's really what it was. And like I was kind of laughing too when Tracy was like, I would be off to the side having a serious conversation with Colton, and then Demi's in the background splashing around in the pool. And it's just like, what? Who cares? Like, why does that bother you so much? That's the environment that you're in. You're in that environment. You're going to be on a group date with a dozen other women. You're going to be in a house with dozens of other women. And they all just can't be quiet or like put off to the side or tucked away because you're having a private conversation with somebody. If you're having a serious conversation, try to find somewhere more quiet to talk, or just know that that's the environment that you're in and like what you're getting yourself into. So I didn't find her argument very worthy, I guess you could say. I'm like coming down from a caffeine crash, so my brain is not working right now. I just didn't really find her reasons to be valid, I guess is what I'm trying to say, for her disliking Demi. So again, let me know, are you more for Tracy or are you more for Demi? I would love to hear your thoughts. I like just hearing other people's opinions on everything because, again, like I said, we can watch the same thing and there could be 100 different opinions and different outtakes that people have from it, so I really would love to hear from you guys. How the conversation is focused on Demi. Courtney doesn't waste any time. As soon as her and Tracy are done talking, Courtney goes in for the kill, gets up, gets in Demi's face, and shoves a pacifier in her mouth and says, go sit in timeout. Like, I don't know. I feel like I would be so in shock if somebody ever did that to me. I thought that Demi handled herself very well because like she was literally assaulted. So the fact that she, you know, didn't get more upset by it, like I really have to applaud her because we all have choices that we can make, and she could have easily gotten up and fought back and actually gotten physical with Courtney back. So the fact that, you know, she was mature enough to just sit there and just kind of like take it as it is and tried to laugh it off, I think it says a lot about her as a person and her being the bigger person. And it's just kind of ironic because the whole time Courtney was just saying how immature Demi was, and it's just really showing Courtney's true colors and how immature she really is. What would you do if somebody walked up to you and like shoved a pacifier in your mouth? I don't see it like ending well in too many other scenarios. After all of that drama was subsided, it started to get into the more enjoyable part of the show, which was like the more calm part of the show, where Chris calls people up to the hot seat, and at first he has Demi up there. The question, okay, this is my other issue with the other girls in the house trying to pin everything on Demi. So Demi sits up there with Chris, has an interview with him. We rewatch the clips. We watch the clips of her saying she's falling in love with Colton. We rewatch the clip of her sitting down with Colton, telling him how she feels. It's very clear, to me at least, it's very clear that she had real feelings for Colton. So once they get done with that, and once they talk, and she literally explains herself, I have a hard time being vulnerable, and I felt really comfortable with Colton, like he didn't make me feel stupid for opening up, like he was amazing, like we see like a very serious side of her. So after all this happens, it's literally the same girls continuing to attack her, saying like, you weren't ready, your feelings weren't real, and it's like, she just explained all of this. I thought it was ridiculous that they questioned her being ready. Yet when she left the show, it was because she told Colton she was falling for him. I don't get it. I mean, haters gonna hate, right? I guess, I don't know. That just like really bothered me. Next, we had Nicole in the hot seat, and she basically just explains her emotions and where she's coming from. And again, I don't get all the hate on Nicole either. So like, am I missing something with Demi and Nicole? Because like, I don't get it. I don't get why you're gonna bully somebody and make somebody feel bad for being emotional. I don't know. But it turned out okay because everybody got ice cream out of it. So I guess, you know, it worked out a little bit for Nicole and for everybody in the audience. Next, we have Hannah in the hot seat. And Hannah conducted herself very well. I mean, I said in my last video, it was a spoiler that it's unofficial, but basically it's been found out that Hannah is going to be the next Bachelorette, at least how things are sitting now. And even though she interviewed the way the Bachelorette would and this and that, I wouldn't mind seeing her as a Bachelorette because I feel like towards the end of her time on the show, we saw a different side of her. And it's kind of like Demi, like she was like very goofy, very like fun, like, and it was kind of a defense thing, and then we got to see her open up a little bit more. I think Hannah, out of all of the girls, would make the most entertaining Bachelorette. I feel like everyone else that they're considering, except for Demi. Demi would be entertaining, but I think she's more Paradise than Bachelorette material. Everybody else, I feel like it would be like an Artie season where it's just like very bland, like no personality. So I think out of all the girls that are left, Hannah has the best shot of making it entertaining. However, with the way that the show is going to end, the other Hannah, I think, is also very deserving of getting another shot at love as a bachelorette. So who would you want? Which Hannah do you want as a bachelorette? Or if you want somebody else, let me know in the comments down below. But I think she just like really drove it home by saying she refuses to settle and like she deserves to have somebody love her back, and it was just like such bachelorette-y things to say. And lastly, in the hot seat, we have Kaylin, who was still very confused about being dumped by Colton. And then after she went back to her seat, Colton came out, tried to give some clarity to Kaylin, and it was basically like, yeah, like I was falling for you, but it's just clear that he just is in it for Cassie and nobody else matters at this point. And Colton really had nothing to say when he came out there, and they showed bloopers, and that was the end of the episode. So what are your thoughts? Next week we have the finale, and then we have After the Final Rose next Tuesday. So I'm gonna see how the finale goes. If I have a lot to say, it'll be a separate video. If I don't have that much to say, I'll probably just combine that and After the Final Rose into one final video, but there may be two, so you know. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos if you aren't yet already, and also be sure to hit the notification bell so that way you can be notified when my videos go live and you can be a part of Power Hour. So if you're shook by the finale and want to rapid fire discuss it, be sure to have the notifications on so we can go back and forth. I want to know your thoughts and opinions and what you thought of the entire season. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.